All right, in order to write up a buyer's offer, we go to the listing and then we go to transaction desk. This is going to be a residential sale, and we're going to have me as the selling agent. And we definitely want to use the wizard. It makes things a lot easier. You want to double check and make sure that everything is correct on here, especially the deed book and page number. You can go ahead and type in what the purchase price is going to be. So let's just say this house is listed at $344,900, but our clients want to make an offer for $340,000. They're going to put a deposit of $1,000. That's their good faith deposit. And the balance of the first mortgage, I often don't put this. This is actually for the listing side, not the purchase side.
Okay.
So we don't want to put that in there. We can put in here what the property includes, like if the property includes the fridge, and that should transfer over. And then we hit next. List date, again, is not something that we need. The offer date, so we can say is being done today, and the offer expiration date is the date that we need. So we want it to expire. A lot of times we want the deadlines to be tight on some of these things, especially if they've got multiple offers going on. If sometimes they require 24 hours notice. If you're doing something in the afternoon, we're generally trying to get it done before end of business, but if it's too late, then we give them, till the next morning. So in this case, let's say that they have until 10 p.m. tonight to let us know. Oh, that's 11. There we go. 10 p.m. tonight. We don't have to worry about any of these dates unless we know for sure what the closing date is going to be. And then we hit next. Come on, baby. All right. Jody Wild is the listing agent, and I am the selling agent. Forms, we're going to hit add. For this one, I'm going to go to the Greater Association of Louisville. We have to use the agency disclosure form. We're also going to need to use the, let's see here, residential sales contract form for those two. All right, and now we're going to hit next. Documents, these are the seller's disclosures that are already on here, and they get brought over from the listing.
One second, sorry. I have meds that I take all that way. So I just want to make sure I get that. Okay.
All right, so now what we're going to do, because we've got most of the information in here. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I'm a dork. We forgot to include, we're going to go back over here to details. And where did it go? Okay, let's try this. Nope, wrong button. Crackers. On that screen that had me and Jody on there, we can add who's the whatchamacallit on it.
Who's the what on it?
Who's the contacts? Who's the buyers and the sellers on there?
Right.
So if you forget to do that, then this handy little transaction wizard over here is right there. So we can add who our contacts are going to be. So you can add a new transaction contact or an existing contact. If we have them in Google, you can pull it over from there as well.
Okay.
So let's just add a new contact. It's really important to put who the what type of contact it is, because it'll auto-populate those fields for them.
Okay.
So we're going to put Lauren Dizou, what's your
ARANDA.
And then we're going to put Lauren@gmail.com. If they have a legal name or preferred signature, this is usually for LLCs and things. And we definitely want them to add it to address book so that you don't have to go back through and do it again. So we hit save. All right, good. Now we go back over here to forms, and we're going to click the little check mark button, and we are going to this little button here says auto populate. So now all the information that we put in there would automatically be in here.
Mm-hmm.
This agency disclosure form, this is the only time that this will actually get filled out. Every other time, you could just leave this naked as is.
Okay.
Because me and Jody are in the same agency, we have to put that we are designated agents. So we would put Jody Wild in here. Of Keller Williams. If she's with a different brokerage, nobody cares. It's just they want to make sure that if you're in the same brokerage, that the client's aware of it. Or if you're representing both sides, the client's aware of it.
Because of like conflict of interest, or
it can be conflict of interest if it, and here down here it says involving more than only one real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
Then I put in, then will be a dual agent, and if I have a personal, family, or business relationship with either one, I fill that out and I have them sign it.
Why would the agent who listed the property not be the agent who sells it?
Because we're not always the one who sells it. We don't have always. Like the Hancock house, I may have the buyer, I may not. It's just whoever has the buyer for it.
Oh, there's several people selling the house, and then
I'm the only one selling the house. I'm the listing agent on the house. So, if you see a house tomorrow that you like, I'll show it to you. But I may not have it listed. I only have 2 listings right now. So.
No, I mean, if I sell my house and I'm using you to sell my house, and then somebody comes and they see my house and they want to buy it, don't they have to get in touch with you?
If they don't have an agent, yes. If they do have an agent, they go through that agent.
And so that agent could actually sell the house out from underneath you?
No.
No. Then what happens?
We're cooperating agents.
Then you'd be the lister and the seller. Okay.
Yeah. Like Jody's the listing on that one and I'm the buying agent.
Okay.
Yeah. So dual agent is when I am both the listing and the buying agent.
Gotcha. Now I understand.
Mm-hmm. So then they sign. I would always make sure to hit save. And then you hit exit to get out of it. Residential sales contract. This has recently changed, so bear with me. Date, MLS, all this information should pull over just fine. That's why I know that. Again, street, blah, blah, blah. They now have check marks for these things, so their fridge, stove, dishwasher, and microwave to remain. If there's any other items, we should put that in there. Sometimes there are additional fridges or stoves in the basement. Occasionally, there are fuel or propane tanks.
And do you get paid by the buyer or the seller, or do you get paid? You get paid by the seller, but is that part of like the money that they make on the house, or are they paying you up front?
No, money make on house. If I don't sell them, they don't pay me.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's a percentage.
It can be.
Or
a flat fee.
Oh, okay.
So let's see here. Purchase price shall be $340,000. Down payment is $1,000, and then this is how we figure out what they're going to do. So they're going to have, let's just say, a conventional. At this price, they're almost always going to be conventional. It's going to be amortized over 30 years. If they have cash, we just put cash in. That they missed the money bags, we're going to pay $340. If they have to get an equity line out on a house, or they have to get a gift out for something, we need to know that, because it's contingent on, someone else. Mom and Daddy going to buy this house for you.
Oh.
or mom and daddy are going to provide the down payment for you. Those are important things that we know so that it's contingent upon someone else. I had a house fall through. One of the reasons was because we couldn't get the gift letter. Let's see here. We put the interest rate here. Usually, if I know the interest rate, I put it in. If not, I put in what one of the lower interest rates are.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ways that people can get out of contracts are if the interest rates suddenly jump up. You know, if this went from 4.5 to a 6, they may not be able to afford this house anymore. So that is, and the seller does have the option to buy down the interest rate for them. If it's an adjustable rate mortgage, that information goes in here. Something too. Buyer must apply for said loan within, I usually put 5 or 7 days in there. And the lender's contact info. So I always put in that buyer is pre-approved or pre-qualified. We try and always put pre-approved in there. Like Jason Hansen and his company, Movement Mortgage, and his phone number. If at all possible, I have a pre-approval letter go with the contract. The earnest money deposit, unless it specifically states otherwise, we always want the security deposit to be at this company.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter in the long run, but it's just handier. 9 times out of 10, unless you're paying cash, the transaction involves a lender and it is contingent upon an appraisal.
God, I haven't afford to pay cash for a house.
There are some folks who can.
That's crazy.
Seller agrees to pay, let's just say $550, and ordered prior to closing by. Seller agrees to pay $550 for the purchase of a limited home warranty and ordered prior to closing by buyer. If we're doing it, then I want us, if we have the buyer, if we're writing up the contract, I want us to order to make sure that it's taken care of and it's taken care of correctly. Some of the home warranty companies also have I love you postcards that they send out periodically while they have the service, and it is also branded with our information. And let's see here. And buyer agrees to do this. I have very few buyers that are agreeing to. At least for some home buyers, they're not going to do it. It's very common practice for the seller to pay for those.
Yeah.
If we have a copy of the seller's disclosure, we put yes. If we don't, we put no. If the house was built before 1978, we don't have to worry about lead. If we do, then they need to get that. If the house was done after 1978, then I usually put like 10 days here. They can go. I honestly have never had a buyer go look at it. And we click the button. And here, they still wonkied it. And I'll tell you why at the end. All right, and so here, the inspections, we always choose number 2. We never choose number 1. Even with my investors, I don't choose number 1. It's just not worth it. Unless it's, if it's one of those that's number 1, I will let you know, but 99.9% of the time it's going to be number 2.
Okay.
They want at least, depending on what time of year it is, 10 to 14 days to get it done. And
is it optional, or they can't, or they don't have to?
They do not have to have a property inspection.
I was going to notice that the wording said may, not must, or
Right.
because it's going to get inspected anyway, though, right?
No.
I thought a house had to be inspected in order to sell it.
No. House has to be appraised, not inspected. So the appraiser is going to come in and look at everything nice
Oh,
and pretty.
that's probably because my house was just built.
Right.
Okay.
But they're not going to crawl in the attic, and they're not going to walk on the roof.
But if it's a brand new house, then it has to be.
Right.
Okay.
So we have, well, it can be. There's a whole bunch of side stuff they can do. But seller shall respond within writing. So once we get the inspection, we give them 3 days, and then we say, okay, you have